as we bring in Trysta Krick, who I think has her volume up really high.
Does it? Do I?
I don't know. I can hear myself back.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Settings.
She's got an Anita Baker shirt on. Boy, like, yeah, Trysta in a mood today. Oh, yeah.
How's that?
Hey, that's me. That's still me. Oh, no, can't do that. Can't do that.
I didn't do anything.
No, of course you didn't. I think you might have just muted yourself. Oh, no, did you? I think you got it.
Yeah, we're good now.
I think I fixed it. This microphone that I have clipped to me is not working, so I have to do a little
It's fine because you sound perfect. Like, I don't know if the microphone's working or you're just talking through your phone, but you sound perfect.
Cool.
And you look great with your Anita Baker shirt on.
Yeah, what you know about Anita Baker, girl? What you know about?
I just want to point out this girl had like a Megadeth shirt on like 2 weeks ago, and now didn't you have like a Megadeth shirt on or?
Oh yeah. What was it? It was
Motorhead.
Motorhead. Yeah, one of those musical acts I like, and the other was just a vintage tee. You can figure out it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Which.
Yeah.
Both very soft though.
That's all that matters. Like that's all that matters with t-shirts. They got to be soft. They got to be soft.
And they got to get people. You got to get the people going. So you walk around with a Anita Baker shirt. Hey, Anita Baker.
Yeah.
I don't have to be soft for me to be like, okay, I'll wear it because it's Anita Baker or it's Big Pun or something like somebody random.
We're made different. Like I need the shirt to be soft.
Yeah.
We got undershirt.
Unless it's Beyonce on the horse, then I'll just wear it. It doesn't even matter. TK, let me mention, you're listening to D-Lo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento, 98.5 FM, KRX, QHD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, always live on the free Odyssey app. I know you came in on the tail end of that conversation, NBA news yesterday, that it's going to get stricter with load managing multiple stars at the same time. What do you think of all that?
I'm interested to see how they do it, right? Because how do we know? I mean, it's one of those wink, wink, nudge, nudge load management, or is it an injury type of a thing? So there's going to be lying that goes on to draft picks being taken or fines or what have you. But I think as a fan that goes to the game, what is sticking out to me in my mind was when I decided I hate Capital One Arena. Probably the worst NBA arena.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate that arena.
Terrible. It's like going to go see basketball at a Best Buy. The lighting is just so bright. There's no food.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Aren't they threatening to move them to Virginia?
I would be fine with that. So it is just one of the. It's right in the middle of a very busy area where it's hard to park. It just sucks.
Yep.
You know what it is, Damien. You've been there.
It's awful. It's awful.
Horrible. So I'm.
And God, don't let a presidential motorcade be coming out because you're not getting to the game.
No.
And I know that sounds outrageous. The White House is around the corner.
Happens more than you think, folks.
Yeah, it really does.
You're like, man, streets are blocked off and barricaded. You got the Secret Service here. And it's like, all I want to do is watch some basketball. So last year, I was like, okay, I'm going to see the Memphis Grizzlies take on the Wizards. I've never seen Ja in person. I am so excited. And who did I get to see? Steven Adams and David Roddy. And I think that was it. They load managed Ja last minute. They load managed Desmond Bane. It was literally just me rooting on Steven Adams and telling him that they're too little. Hey, Steven, just go to the rim. And I bet that game too. So there's nothing more disappointing as a fan than thinking you're going to go watch one thing. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you realize you're watching Scrubs. And you just paid $150 a ticket or whatever it is that you had to pay. And that's a lot of money to just watch David Roddy, plus parking, plus the time past the motorcade. So I would love to see load management go away. I really would. Like you said, it's not proven to be effective in terms of injury. I don't know. Science it seems in one direction has really evolved and another hasn't, right? You're seeing more injuries, more soft tissue injuries than we saw in the 90s and 2000s. Why? Who knows? Maybe because they're just getting like way more strong and way more bulky, and there's some imbalances in terms of their muscles that cause ligament damage to happen more frequently. But like, it's not the load managing that's helping. It's other things I think that they can do to fix it. So as a fan, I really want them to do something that actually works. Whether it works, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to sound like the old guy or whatever. I just don't know why these guys, if you can play, like don't play more. You know what I mean? Like I know it's a different time, science, all this other stuff. We got more knowledge and all this other stuff, but like we just keep talking about, like sitting doesn't seem to work or preserve your body or keep you from injury or anything like that. I just don't know why these guys don't play more, don't want to play more. That's what I think bothers a lot of people, is it doesn't seem like they want to play more. It seems like I don't want to say it happens, but it seems like they hide behind, oh, this is the plan that the athletic staff is put out there, and I just got to follow it, as opposed to like the coach coming out and saying, I had to hold LeBron out. He was really adamant that he wanted to play tonight, but I said, no, you're not going to play. Like, we don't ever hear that. They're just like, yeah, I'm not playing. It's just is what it is.
Because if LeBron really wants to play, he's going
LeBron plays.
Yeah. Frank Vogel's not going to be telling him he can't. Neither will Darvin Ham. Neither will Mike Brown. Like, no one he's ever played for is going to be able to tell him he can't play.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think that's facts. And in fact, there's a distinct possibility that load managing might make injuries more possible.
Yeah, I think at some point, like if Kawhi Leonard was always the poster child for this, you have to acknowledge, like, hey, it didn't work. Like it went beautifully. He won a championship with Toronto. Yeah, until you call into your memory, he was hurt in the finals. Like leading into the final, like he got himself through that Eastern Conference Finals. He was hurt in the finals, and then you have, it's I'm not like saying this gleefully. He got hurt last year in the playoffs. Like it just might not work, and you're going to have to come up with a better excuse as to why these guys aren't playing.
To the degree that they do it, right? Like yeah, you're never playing 3 games in a row. Like, you'll play 2 and we'll sit you on third. Like, that stuff doesn't work. If the guys played 2.5 weeks straight, and you're like, man, maybe you need a day off or whatever. Your foot's bothering you or something. Yeah, give them the day off. But
I think people are getting so smart, it's making them dumb.
Well, yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. I agree.
Speaking of, that's a bad segue. Strike that from the record. I'm just going to say your boy is really bad at this. So Sham said something about Dame yesterday where he said if he's traded to another team that's not Miami, he wouldn't report. He wouldn't go. And I believe his follow-up line was, theoretically, there's only 2 camps Dame's going to be in, Portland or Miami. I read in the Oregonian this morning that sources close to the Oregonian, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the paper there in your neck of the woods says, oh, Dame will play wherever he's traded, sources tell us. Bro, what? What we established yesterday, TK, is your boy is very, very bad at this. He's really, really bad at demanding a trade.
Yeah, you kind of have to commit, don't you? I don't think the committing is happening. I think that there's his camp, his people have committed to him going to Miami and only Miami. And I think Dame, it seems, is not exactly there with them. And so you're getting different messaging depending on who is speaking to the media. And Dame hasn't said a lot. Real quick segue, I must have done something wrong because obviously I've been talking a lot about Dame for the last 2 months or whatever. I think it's 2 months, yeah. I got unfollowed on Twitter.
Oh, by Dame? He used to follow you?
Dame.
Oh.
Twitter during this whole saga.
Oh
At least you didn't get
no.
blocked.
It's true. It is true.
Oh, this is well, I don't know if I can rock with Dame no more.
Been a 7, whatever, however long he's been in the league. I've had the
That's
phone,
cold.
so
That's cold.
it's cold
Man.
blooded. Cold blooded. So
It's
Well-
terrible.
getting in his feelings about something.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys what I think has happened. Because all this stuff about, like, when it gets to the people, I don't think that's ever coming from Dame. I think whoever tried to trade for him or the Portland Trailblazers put that out to Shams and said, look, this is what they're telling us.
Mm.
They're saying, if you trade us anywhere other than Miami, we won't report. Portland is putting that out in the people. Dame and his people are having a private conversation saying, look, man, we aren't trying to go nowhere else. Like,
Trysta, like Shams would be foolish to report that without getting something from one of Dame's people.
Oh, it's Aaron.
But I'm just telling you that's where I think it's coming from in this Oregonian situation. I think that's Dame's people saying, we didn't say that. You're not going to get us in trouble. We didn't say that. He'll report anywhere. That's what it all smells like to me.
Well, it does. It seems a little like, oh, shoot. Hey, like, it seems like, you know how you pop off and you say something you don't mean? Like, I'm sure, Kenny, you've said something to your lady and you realize as soon as it comes out, nope, that was not, nope, I would love to take the garbage out now. I would love to cook dinner because you're like, oh, I done effed up. Like that.
Hey, slept in my house that night. You slept in the guest room.
Yeah, exactly. I could have slept in my own bed, and instead I am taking my electronic vehicle over to Damien's house and sleeping on his couch. So I think that's what's happening is someone must be calling Dame's people after the fact, whether that's another media member, whether it's someone from the league, like, hey, you know that you can't say that or you're going to get fined. You know that you can't be tampering and determining where you're going to go. And then there's like almost a backpedaling that happens 48 hours later where it's like, actually, we would love to play for San Antonio, even though we know that that's not the case. So Sean's definitely well-sourced. I bet it's from Aaron Goodwin. Aaron Goodwin will tell the world that that's what it is. And then as soon as he realizes that he could lose money from that, he's going to backpedal. And maybe the Oregonian is talking to Dame himself. It's not a secret that Dame has people in the media that he trusts a lot that work for one of our Odyssey stations, 1080 The Fan. I think he's pretty close with Danny Meringue. I think they talk daily. So I think there's probably mixed messages going on. Will he, won't he? I'm just so done with it. I think we're all kind of tired of this saga. And nobody believes that Dame's not going to report to another team. Nobody knows. Nobody believes that.
Kind of mad he unfollowed you.
I am too. I kind of be like, dang.
That was disappointing.
Hey, I'm just doing my job. I didn't do anything out of line. Didn't say anything. I saw Chris Haynes at Summer League, and I could tell I was on thin ice.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Oh man!
On thin ice at Summer League. He was like, I got to talk. I got to talk to you. And I was like, what?
Man, Chris came for you.
He's like, you messing with my boy. I didn't say anything that's wrong.
You didn't say anything. Didn't you have a clip that got like improperly aggregated?
Oh yeah, about how where people were like, oh, I just want Dame to win a championship somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. That was it. Yeah.
The quiet part out loud. I don't want Dame to win a championship somewhere else. I am not rooting for Dame to win a championship with Miami at all. That line of logic is a farce. I with my team that I've been a fan of since 1992. Like I don't.
But Trysta, what you're saying isn't wrong. It's not. There's nothing wrong with it all. But you know they're not gonna like that. You know that. You know we've been with.
I said
they're not gonna like that.
I said it like you could tell that I was holding back a chuckle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so that was the
know.
thing. You
I
said it on video, but it got aggregated to print,
yeah,
and now
yeah.
Trysta got
Yeah.
unfollowed by Dame.
we gonna
I think
make
there
sure
was
that gets
some.
back
I think
together.
there was some dots in
See,
there, and
see.
that's what always
You
gets
say
you.
that on you might have said that in the Bay Area, and you know
Yeah.
what happens.
95.7 got you. They get everybody with those dots.
And it's like, and ... and then that's when I covered up the body. And you're like, wait, what?
Unbelievable. What's your biggest week one as we shift gears to the NFL? What's your biggest week one overreaction? Or do you have one?
Biggest week one overreaction. There's a few. Number one, I'd say the Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl.
That's okay. That's an overreaction. They
Trysta,
look good, though. They look good.
They look good.
But
Trysta,
I know, but what I say is a caveat to that, because I got asked this on Memphis today, is they said, would you, if you had $1,000, would you place your money on the Cowboys over any other NFC team? And I said, well, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. And the Cowboys, to my recollection, have lost to the Niners 2 years in a row in the playoffs. So kind of got to go through the Niners. Also, Brock Purdy, not a game manager. Not a game manager. He is first read, second read, third read, swag. I understand everything clearly. It doesn't matter how much film you're getting on him. He's still a good quarterback.
I really think those are. I hesitate saying it because I don't like the Philadelphia Eagles, but I don't want to be disrespectful to them, so I don't want to say it so quick. But my gut tells me that the Niners and the Cowboys are the two best teams. I feel like they're on. There might be a slight level ahead of Philadelphia. I think both of those teams, because of the dominance that both of those teams possess on the defensive end. You can make the argument Philly's better than both of them on offense, but I don't. And Philly got a good defense. I don't know if that defense is necessarily like the Cowboys and the 49ers.
There were 65% of Daniel Jones's dropbacks. He was pressured. That's the second highest since 2019. So it was sacked 7 times. There were 7 guys who had 5 or more pressures on Daniel Jones. It was just unreal to watch.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it.
They were dominant on Sunday night.
Yeah, no, they were.
Dominant.
Absolutely.
With all the fanfare in New York, pageantry, commemoration, 9/11, got your FDNY hats on, and did not matter.
But yeah, you're right. I think the Giants stink, though.
No, there's that.
Like, I don't think the Giants are good. So, like, and it doesn't take away from what Dallas did. Dallas essentially did what they were supposed to. But I don't look at. Did you see the clip that got circulated of it's Collinsworth and Tirico?
Oh, no, what happened?
They're down 40-0. The Giants are down 40-0, and Chris Collinsworth is talking about what a stand-up performance Daniel Jones had.
Come on, man.
He's letting the Dallas Cowboys know he's here.
What?
Sir, it's 40-0. What are you talking about? Like, you could tell what quarterbacks Chris Collinsworth loves, man, because that was an outrageous line to utter down 40-0.
I think also Buffalo is in for a rough year.
Oh,
yeah, man.
It's that Kenny Caraway book right there.
Yeah.
Without Brian Dable, you talk about the Giants. You lose Brian Dable to the Giants. You lose Joe Shane to the Giants. And now you're rocking with Ken Dorsey, Mr. I'll break my own iPad if I have to.
Well.
And Josh Allen's regressing in terms of his decision making, in my opinion. And you saw that where it was really just compounding one bad decision after another. And Josh, you don't need, even when they were trying to kick a field goal, it was second down and he's going for the deep ball, and his first read is wide open. I just think the boomer bust nature that Josh Allen has, where he's got immense confidence in himself, but maybe he should have less.
And while we're there, Brian Dayball, I'm fine, man. Congratulations
That's
on
funny.
That was like a delayed reaction from David.
That's funny.
It made me
Just
chuckle from the start.
I'm just thinking about the idea. I mean, I have too much confidence in myself. I need to chill out a little bit.
The delivery of that line, maybe you should have less.
That's great. That's very funny.
Brian Dayball, fine, man. Good coordinator. I think he's going to come back down where we're at, like down to
dude,
earth.
he was like 500 last year, and he
down
won
to
Coach
earth.
of the Year.
People going crazy about that. Come on back down to earth where we're at. Giants, I'm with Damian on this one. Giants are trash.
What do you think of the Rams?
Too soon to say, honestly. Too soon to say. But Puka and Tutu, real deals. 100 yards each, right? Double-digit targets. Without Cooper Kupp, I thought they were going to get stomped by Seattle. I just can't tell if it's Seattle regressing or whether the Rams are pretty good with Matt Stafford's a good quarterback, and we know that. And so after he got hurt, you bring in Baker, and Baker's okay, as we saw. He can win you some games like the Buccaneers did last week. But Matt Stafford, with randoms that nobody picked up on their fantasy team, hung a ton of points on the Seahawks and didn't allow them to score really at all. So I can't tell whether that's more about the Rams or the Seahawks, but we're going to have to find out soon.
Coincidentally, Puka and Tutu is the name of the new morning show that's coming to ESPN 1320.
So which one is which? Is Kyle Puka or is he Tutu?
I'll let them decide.
Who impressed you week one? Like who you were like maybe surprised you, or maybe like the Cowboys or something like that. You figured they'd be good and they rose to the challenge. Who really impressed you in week one?
The Lions. I think we talked about this maybe on Friday. The Lions defensively impressed me a lot. You talk about one of the worst defenses in the league, and then now they're shutting down. And listen, the Chiefs didn't have their weapons. Let's be honest. Like, you don't have Travis Kelce. You really don't have anything at all. But as long as Pat Mahomes is on the field, he can kind of make magic happen.
Yeah.
But the Lions were a team that were letting anyone score 40 on them, let alone a team like the Chiefs, and they did it. So I'm very curious to see how they are for the rest of the year, defensively specifically. So I like them. Miami, very impressive. But, I mean, picking up right where they left off with Tua, add another year with Mike McDaniel and Tua. Tyreek went crazy, 200-plus yards. You have Jalen Waddle as the 1-2 punch. If they add Jonathan Taylor, this team is winning the AFC. Like, if they grab Jonathan Taylor and you've got a Kyle Shanahan disciple out there in Ambanito, Miami, then they are going to be – it might be a Miami-San Francisco Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Well, how much of –
who else? There was another team. I thought Green Bay for all of the things that they had to deal with. And the Bears maybe just really are bad, but they schemed for the things that they had. They had multiple weapons missing. A lot of people who even are Packer fans were taking the Bears +1, and they wiped their ass with the Bears.
Well, there's that. Just a Krick, ladies and gentlemen. Why? What do you think?
I couldn't tell. I was like, wait. Sometimes I won't say the cuss word because I'm going through the ones that are F.
Yeah, no, those are. We've determined that word is fine as long as you don't throw the hole in at the end, and then everything works.
Yeah, I had to learn the
hard
way.
I don't know why. I don't know why the word becomes bad when you add that to it, but for some reason it does. What impact do you think last night had on the AFC?
I think a ton. The Jets with Aaron Rodgers I think they were 12-1 to win the Super Bowl, or he went down. They're 50-1 to win the Super Bowl now. Their defense is going to keep them in a lot of games, but let's be honest, they're not really competing for anything real. I don't know if they're going to be bad enough to get a Caleb Williams, but I think when you're talking about AFC East rivals really being in a straight up dogfight, wounds on either side coming out of that, and if you're in Miami and New England, you're saying Miami more so. You're saying, yeah, we can win this division.
Yep.
You should win.
Miami could run away with the division.
Yeah, like 14 wins, 13.
Yeah.
As long as Tua is healthy, this offense is just ridiculous. They're gonna allow a lot of points. Like let's not make any bones about it. And the Chargers just continue to charger, right? They just find ways to lose in mysterious ways.
At least they're consistent. At least you don't have to wonder who they are.
The thing about the Jets is just I'm not gonna put any money on it, but I can see a world where they hang around. As bad as Zach Wilson was, we talked about this a lot earlier in the show. As bad as he was last year, Jesse had the stat. He did go 5-4 as a starter. They were a game away from making the playoffs. Now he got benched. You know what I mean? So that's not a good thing. But I use the analogy, look, he's been hanging around Aaron Rodgers all summer. You know, I'm not saying he's going to turn into Aaron Rodgers, but if he was able to learn anything from being around him every day, maybe he can bring that to the table where he doesn't put his team in a compromising situation and allows the defense to, you know, kind of carry them, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a scenario where they still make the playoffs.
I just don't think that's what you want if you're the Jets. You know?
Well, you don't have a choice.
What do you mean?
I would much rather. I mean, I think this draft is going to be historic. Caleb Williams, if you could somehow find a way to get Caleb Williams, you are now lucking in. It's like with Cincinnati and Joe Burrow, except for you already had Jamar Chase. Except for you already have Breece Hall, who's you saw him. Like at one point, he had two carries and over 100 rushing yards. So you've got a lot of weapons offensively, and you've got a top 3, top 5 defense with a quarterback who's elite and on a rookie contract. Man, could you do a lot. So if I'm the Jets, I wouldn't be. If I'm the ownership, management, yeah, you want to build on things, but I still don't believe that Zach Wilson is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. So,
but do you have to win the Super Bowl, or do you just have to win games?
It depends.
It was Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I get that, but can you survive as a coach, as a franchise, as players with egos, and can you survive if you just win games and lose in the wild card or the divisional round or something?
It's certainly a step up, but it's like the Bengals with Andy Dalton. You're just good enough to go nowhere. Which is a bad scenario, right? Like, to be mediocre in the NFL is a bad place to be.
This is true. But I'll say this, and I love Caleb Williams. He's the truth. He is the truth. But you know who else is the truth? I'm a big Shador believer. His ball accuracy, the ball placement, perfect. More times than not. Perfect. People were mad at me on Twitter because I said I think he's just as good as Caleb. They're like, nah, you're bugging. And it wasn't to put down Caleb at all. Like, he's probably the number 1 pick. But I think Shador, I'm super impressed with him.
It's 2 games. Just pump your brakes, okay?
It's going to happen.
Oh, you're not a believer?
It's going to happen the rest of the season.
TK's not a believer?
I am. Well, I given the fact that I am primarily right now hosting a betting show, I would not be placing any win totals or futures on Colorado to win the Pac-12. And as much as I would love to see that be the case, because of what that is for their program, what it is for Dion and his squad, what it is for the culture, just don't see it happening.
I don't think they'll win the Pac-12. I think they'll be a game or 2 off.
Trysta Krick, BetMGM tonight, Heat Check Podcast. We appreciate you so much as always. We'll